In the previous hands-on, you have seen that when I was calling orders or the order class and I was executing the method from main application, it was giving error because there was a small block of code in the order operations module which gave error because that block of code was supposed to get executed when we run the program in a standalone mode, not when you call the program as a module or import the program as a module. As I already told you that the same code can be executed in a standalone manner, and you can use the same code to import in another program as a module also. In that case, it becomes really useful that you are running a code and you are writing a code which can be used in a standalone manner, and if someone needs, the other person can import your code as a module also. But to avoid errors that I have just told you, execute a block of code only when it is being called in a standalone mode, not when it is being imported as a module. How do you handle that? So you can use dunder name dunder variable. So underscore underscore name underscore underscore, double underscore or dunder. So what happens is that it contains the name of the module, and this dunder name dunder, it would contain the name of the module. And if you call the program directly, then dunder name dunder would contain the value main, dunder main dunder. But if it is called from some other program, and if it is imported, then dunder name dunder would contain the name of the module. So you can use this particular variable, which is a built-in variable, to build a logic that if name is equal to main, then execute this block of code. If it is not, then the entire module would be executed. So something like this. Let's say I have defined two functions, calculate hike, define calculate order details, and I have a class orders, wherein I have a constructor or an init method which will initialize the object, and then I have also defined a method named get underscore customer, and the name of this program is business processes.py, let's say, and I import this business processes in a different program which is business underscore logic.py. Now if I mention a code like this, if name equal to main, then go ahead and execute order details and calculate hike. So the functions are supposed to be executed when the program is running in a standalone mode, and that's what we have mentioned. If name equal to main, then go ahead and execute order details and calculate hike. Of course, this is a pseudo code. I have not defined the entire code here. And if name equal to, let's say, BP, then use class orders or something like that. Or you can omit this second option completely. It is not needed at all. This block of code would be executed only when the program is running by itself in a standalone mode. Else, you can use the functions as you want to. And here also you can mention, if let's say someone wants to use business underscore logic as a module, someone wants to import this code as a module, then you would know that if you are in standalone, then these portions of the code that you have to execute. Now this is a best practice that you always use dunder name dunder equal to main in your Python program. So you should always use this irrespective of whether you know that it would be imported as a module or not. Make sure that you always use if statement with dunder name dunder equal to main. So I have made some changes in the customer operation. So everything remains the same. But what I have done here, I have added one line. If name equal to main, then generate full email. This is the function, and print the customer table and add customer from customer ID. So when it is a standalone mode, then it will generate the full email Shankar Mahadevan and then print the customer table, and then it will add Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam also. But if it is not equal to main, then or the other program can use it as a module. I have also added a print statement here. So if name equal to main, then don't do anything. Or if it is being called as a module, then print the variable underscore name. So now if I execute the code standalone from here itself, it will check what is the value of name? So it would contain main, so only this portion would be executed. So let me go ahead and do that. Right click and execute run customer operations. So as you can see, this full name is Shankar Mahadevan. It has been capitalized. This is the email ID and it has been added also. And then Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam has been added in the customer table. But if I now go ahead and use it from main application, get customer details, then that particular block of code will not get executed. So sorry, this I should run main application. So I'm getting just the customer details and I'm also printing the name of the module. Module underscore package dot customers dot customer underscore operations. And it has been called from another module. Why you are printing this? Why you are seeing this? Because I had added this if condition in the method itself, in the function itself, sorry, in get customer details. There's no class here, so all are functions. So this is how you can use the name variable, and you can add an if condition. If name equal to main, then execute the code, which enables the code to be executed in a standalone mode also, and imported as a module also, and will not get any error. The final thing that I want to talk about on this particular topic is namespace. So namespace is a concept. There's no hands-on as such. Just to make you understand what this is. So it's a collection of all components of a program with a name. Whenever we start a program, the namespace is the name of the program itself. So all the variables, functions, methods, classes, objects, etc. would be inside of the program's namespace. So let's say I have this orders underscore app dot py, and if I execute this program, the namespace would be on orders underscore app. And here I can define multiple variables. I can define functions. Then I have, let's say, customers underscore app dot py. I have executed that also. It will have its own namespace and its own function definitions and variables. Now let's say I have another block of code wherein I'm importing customers underscore app. Now if I use import customers underscore app, then what I'll have to do is that I'll have to mention this customers underscore app completely, because what happens is that the program is loaded in memory in its own namespace if we use just the import command. So if you use import customers underscore app, the program would be loaded in its own namespace, and the namespace, as I said, would be the name of the program, which is customers underscore app. So if I have to use the functions or methods or variables of customers underscore app, I'll have to mention it. I'll have to append that function or method using the namespace, which is customers underscore app. And if I use, let's say, an alias like as CA, which is customer app, I can use the alias ca.add customer details. But again, the point remains the same. It has been loaded, the customers underscore app has been loaded in its own namespace, which is separate, if we use just the import command. But if we use the from customers app import get customer details, what would happen is that get customer details and add customer details would be added to orders underscore app namespace. So then you can go ahead and use the functions without the namespace of customers underscore app. So if you use import command, then we'll have to use the namespace. If I use from keyword and then import using the from keyword, then the functions will be added to orders underscore app namespace. So in that case, we do not have to mention the namespace of customers underscore app anymore. So this is the difference of using import command and from import command. So if you use import command, the entire module would be loaded in its own namespace. And if you use from module name import, the methods or the functions or the variables would be loaded in the current program's namespace. So that's what a namespace is, and you might have already seen it in the main application that I was writing. So that's all about this particular topic. Let's go to the next one.